Hey guys, we're here for the 4th episode of 80's Terror and a Track. Here with Brandon.
Hello.
Yeah, I know that I'm not editing these as fast as I should. Last episode was a double feature. We're still going to count it as one episode. But I guess we should hop right into it. This is actually a suggestion by one of the people that left a comment, so it pays to leave a comment if you want to see something done. So the movie we're doing this time from the 80s is a 1981 art classic, Possession, from Andrzej Zulawski. This movie it's pretty infamous. Originally it was released in a cut version in the States. It was completely butchered. It didn't make much sense. It didn't get very good reviews in the States or anything like that. It stars Isabelle Adjani, who's in, like Nosferatu, the Werner Herzog version. She's in a slew of films. And of course Sam Neill, and this is early Sam Neill. And it's kind of funny Sam Neill's in this, and you think he's kind of played an unhinged character quite a bit. If you look at In the Mouth of Madness or Event Horizon, he's really good at it. So Possession, it's a strange film. It's kind of like a thinking kind of horror movie fan thing. It's driven by a lot of emotion and symbolism and all sorts of things like that. And when I watch it, I see similarities to things like Hellraiser and Cemetery Man and The Brood, which are all major complements, the weirdness and the absurdity, but also the hardcore emotional stuff in here. It's got lots of crazy things going on, from body horror to possibly biblical implications at the end. It's a strange film. It's not one that you can really kind of understand 100%. I feel like a lot of people have tons of interpretations of it. It's a wonderfully, beautifully shot film. It's a masterpiece to me. Now, it's not for everybody, so I guess this is going to be one of these weird ones where we discuss Possession right now, see how Brandon feels about it. So I initially saw this movie. Basically, I saw it when I was fairly young, like 12 or 13. I had the Anchor Bay DVD. And I did finish it. I put it in, and I was like, I have my stuffed crust cheese frozen pizza. I'm excited to watch this crazy movie. It's on the Video Nasties list. Made the Video Nasties list. And I was like, and I started watching it, and I was like, I don't know what this is. This is very bizarre.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. And it took years for me to come back around to it, and I really liked it. And I just didn't fit. I hadn't watched it in years, so when we put it in, decided to watch it, I was like, this is something that's could genuinely cause some serious mental issues for some people.
It sure could.
Yeah. The first thing that I will say is I think that as far as horror films are concerned, I don't know if there's ever been... there's millions of great performances in horror films, but these are two of the most most unmatched, unhinged performances I've ever seen. I think there's some method acting going on in here.
For sure.
Rumor is Sam Neill will not discuss this film, and he said not until some of the parties are dead. Director died, still won't talk about it.
Shit.
Yeah, so you imagine that him and Ajani did not have a great time on it.
I imagine not. I mean, the entire film is just basically just screaming and yelling, and it's very, the whole entire time we were watching it, I was like, what the fuck is going on? For almost 2 hours, what the hell is this?
So there's a movie in 1979 called The Brood, which is David Cronenberg film, and it's basically about his divorce. And it's really fucked up and twisted. And this movie feels genuinely like Zulawski's divorce film, right? You see these emotions in there, like how they love each other and hate each other.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up. And the doppelganger issue with two of the characters having two different people on there.
Yes.
Also the bringing the victims to the the creature that she's getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah,
is
whatever that thing was.
Right out of Hellraiser. And did you notice as it progresses, it starts to look more human,
more real,
like Sam Neill. So I think that thing that shows up at the end was what she was feeding this sexual. It's a weird movie.
Yeah, it's super weird.
I don't know how to grasp a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the film.
I love it.
It's a good film. It's just what the hell is going on?
So you can tell by the color scheme I did. I picked off blue because the movie has a really gloomy feel, because it's in Germany when the Berlin Wall is still there.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful, depressing kind of looking film, shot, but also
I think every single scene it was raining.
Yeah, it's
or gloomy.
But it also is not a movie that drains itself of color in lieu of being gloomy, which is a great way to go. There's nothing worse than popping in a movie that is just all blue, like this is shot right now. The whole movie is just all blue. And I put the strobe on because kind of just the unhinged quality of the film and the performance.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that works.
Absolutely. Yeah.
movie has unlimited iconic imagery. The sunglasses, the blood from the lips.
Yes. I love when she walks away and just like sticks her arms
tight
out.
hands,
Because that's just how I'm gonna walk away from everyone for the rest of my life.
I feel like this movie is highly influential for other
I
films.
can totally see that.
You can see a lot of different things. I feel like the remake of Suspiria has stuff from this in there. And of course, Suspiria is a film that took place in Germany too, when the Berlin Wall was still up. And the remake embraces that. It definitely directly ties into that kind of stuff. So like you see like that kind of like gloomy quality about it, and the Berlin Wall's up, and just the imagery and the way it's shot. Like I noticed, like it's very typical. I know like the camera is always moving. It's always like, I don't want to say it's voyeuristic, but it is kind of, but it's always a moving camera. And you notice like every transition shot is like coming behind a pillar. It keeps you engaged, even though it's not, I wouldn't say it's a slow-paced movie at all.
No.
It's just a very unhinged movie that maybe some people could drift away from because they would be confused.
Very much so.
But it keeps your attention.
It does, yeah. I mean, my eyes were glued to the TV the entire time we were watching it. So I was just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
I don't necessarily.
Why are we screaming again?
Essentially, the plot is Sam Neill appears to be some sort of government official or assassin. He shows back up to meet his wife, estranged wife. They're definitely not. I would say estranged. I guess they've been separated for a while, just because his job and their son. And right away, there's turmoil. They obviously don't seem to. They had a lot of problems going on. Sam Neill seems to be the one without the power. Johnny seems to have more of the power here. And as it progresses, we find out she's been cheating on him, and you get to just like, maybe it's just some weird kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
But then it's weirder and weirder that she's not only cheating on Heinrich and her husband, she's cheating on with some sort of creature, some sort of nasty penis creature made by Carlo Rimbaldi, world-renowned special effects artist from things like E.T., Dune, Lizard in a Woman's Skin. So it's such a bizarre turn of events, and it gets weirder and weirder, and it starts adding these Lovecraftian things in there. And the issue where people show up to the abandoned place and get killed, and the creature gets stronger, and she kind of has them come in and lures them in, reminds me very much of Hellraiser, which is kind of the plot of Hellraiser. You know, her bringing victims to Frank to get him stronger.
Sure.
So there's that issue as well. So like Hellraiser's unlike any other horror movie except Possession, which is a major compliment to Possession. And like I said, it has so many qualities of like The Brood and The Cemetery Man to me, the doppelganger issue and the love issue and the fucked up twist and stuff like that. And Hellraiser. And those three movies I just named are three of my all-time favorites. So like looking at Possession and that, I'm like, this should probably be in my favorites list because I was blown away by it this time.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I do really like the movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's just confusing.
I mean,
and sometimes that's good.
It's a movie that you want to think about and talk about. You're not always just discussing like the plot or exactly how it works. You're kind of just like watching the emotion, and each scene has meaning. I love the idea in the very beginning of the film, like we have when Sam Neill meets Heinrich, and Heinrich beats the shit out of him. He has the power, and he's like basically groveling at his feet. But then later on, when Sam Neill gets a piece of information and he knows where the supposed third affair person is, and it's at this apartment, he's seen them. So he knows it's this nasty monster, from my understanding, I believe. Has he been there? He has the power over Heinrich, who's begging him, basically. Mm-hmm. And you see how they shoot it. Originally, like, Sam Neill seems to be shorter, and then Heinrich seems to be the one who's, like, now desperate for any information. And the way he sets him up, that whole scene is fun.
Yeah. It is.
And the way that Heinrich dies. Like, by the end of it, both of them are killers.
They are. Yeah. They're not good people.
Hey, love will make you do crazy things.
Yeah. They're, I don't know.
There's just like a lot, like I'm just naming the things in there, like when Isabella Johnny cuts herself, and Sam Neill puts her, like, wraps her up, and then Sam Neill starts cutting herself, and she just leaves.
I was just about to bring that up. I'm like, like, love you too, girl.
Yeah. Like I said, the acting is unmatched, and it would be a great disservice not to mention the subway or the.
Oh yeah, that scene is like honestly super cathartic. I'm like, I want to do that, but also like, girl.
It's got to be like the best scene in the film.
Oh, honestly. For sure.
And the thing is, you know how like a lot of people always would like say like elevated horror now, like Hereditary, like guys, they've always been there. This is 100% an elevated horror movie, and so is Rosemary's Baby, and so is 90% of the shit you've seen from the 70s, including Wicker Man and Don't Look Now and The Shining. Even these movies are in that same thing.
They sure are.
It's just people has always written off horror movies as crap, so when they see something that's not crap, they have to act like it's something different, or it's not a horror movie. Like, you know, it's just always the same way. Jaws and Silence of the Lambs, they're not horror movies at all. It's like, okay, if you want to say that, whatever, but there's going to be a good horror movie eventually, and you're going to have to admit that horror movies
eventually.
And horror movies are clearly the best subject, best category. No other genre has fucking conventions for them.
You know what? That's absolutely true.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that. That's absolutely true.
And nobody discusses them. Horror movies are always the ones that break down the barriers first.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know I talked a lot about this movie. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Nothing more than just like, I just thought it was funny the entire time I was watching it. I kept looking over you and being like, what the fuck is going on? Why are they screaming again? It's an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, it's rough.
And, but it's so like confusing that it just keeps you glued to it the entire time. You're like, you want to figure out what's going on from like the start to the end. It's like, what is going on? And often like what the symbolism. Thank you. You know I can't speak English.
It's okay.
You know, the only language I actually know. I can't speak it. But like the symbolism in the movie, like you can see some elements of like there's definitely like religious aspects to it.
Yeah.
But also like talk about like mental health aspects or, you know, relationships and like abusive relationships.
Yeah.
And sometimes how those merge all together.
Yeah.
And other times I think it was just crazy to be crazy.
Well, I mean, they obviously have problems, but there's so many weird callbacks, like the pink socks, and the very end of the film, it seems like the end of the world's happening.
Yeah.
Like maybe he was the Antichrist, is what I've heard. Like somebody thinks he's the Antichrist, and that's why he was born of that, you know, bringing the people to him, and that creature possibly was, you know, the Sam Neill. She's recreating the Sam Neill. And I love the last shot of them laying on the staircase, all full of holes, and they're all shot, and they're like blood from the mouth. It's just like, it's art, man. Every piece of this movie is, you could take any still from this film and put it on your wall, and it would be art.
Absolutely. I also thought that with the religious aspect, I kind of thought like with them like pretty much like getting shot up and like dying and they're going up the stairs like the stairway like heaven per se.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Also, the spiral is a spiral staircase.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes you dizzy. And and it's just all.
Yeah.
Makes you out of your element.
The ending was a little confusing. What's going on here?
The whole movie's
the whole movie, from start to finish. I'm like, okay. So I've learned that you kind of have to take some of these movies at like, just see them for what it is. Sometimes they don't have meaning, but sometimes they do have meaning. Well, you know?
Yeah.
Just appreciate it for what it is.
There is a meaning. Like, I mean, you can find meaning to any film, and I do think this is a movie I watch, and I don't think the director was thinking this is just a bunch of random bullshit.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I think this is personal to him. I think it has meaning to him, and I think it will have meaning to other people. It just might have a different meaning to the individual.
Exactly. How you perceive it is probably different than how I perceived it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also
that's cool.
This is not a good movie to watch if you're going through like a breakup or something, or having a lot of mental issues. I think this one could be damaging to your mental health, which could be it might be cathartic to some people. Some people, when they feel bad, they want to watch bad.
Yeah.
Vice versa, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we have a song for this one?
We sure do. All right. So the chomp. English is not my language. The song I have chosen for Possession is called Mental Hopscotch by one of my favorite new wave bands of the 80s, Missing Persons. So this song is off their 1982 album called Spring Session M. Like I said, Missing Persons is one of my favorite bands from the 1980s, especially in the new wave scene. They're known for hits like Walking in LA, their biggest song like Words and Destination Unknown. This song, I do not believe actually charted anywhere. It's just a fan favorite. And I was going to choose another song of theirs that I thought was really similar with the relationship, but I thought the song I chose was just really rock oriented and really like, it gets progressively more fast and crazy. And I thought it just fit the movie pretty well. And that's why I chose it. So let's talk more about it.
So mental hopscotch. Like, I think right away, like, I kind of understood, like, just the idea of playing mind games with each other and all that kind of stuff. Is that why you picked it? Let me know why you picked it.
Yeah, it was that element. And something I was thinking of right before we started filming, actually, was actually the aspect of their kid. And how, hopscotch is kind of like, like a kid's type of thing. But also, like, I was feeling so bad for him the entire movie. I'm like, I thought I had shitty parents. Like, damn. So I was just thinking about but also just like from any aspect or any character, it's just there's so much confusion and there's so much like just chaos going on for the entire film. And one of the lyrics was like, I think it's like you say you will and then you say you won't, and it's like it's going back and forth and it's very confusing.
It does feel like at times that they're vibing and then they won't vibe.
And then they won't vibe,
And they get more unhinged as it goes on. You said the song picks up and goes on, and it's like a circle, which could go the spiral staircase, which would go the growing mental instability, and the basically hopping between doppelgangers. It's definitely a sporadic, spastic song, which I think fits with their mental health.
Totally. And I was, typically I choose songs that are a little bit more pop oriented, but I feel like commercial pop music from the 80s was not going to quite cut it for this one. I wanted something more, I guess, just like heavy and kind of like aggressive and angry a little bit, and so are just just fast and just like bunch of drums and stuff.
I would immediately have to have an angry, violent female singer. Immediately for the song that I would think of.
And
maybe like a Patti Smith or something.
Oh,
but,
sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, but I think she's more 70s, 60s.
Yeah, she's more 70s.
Yeah, but I mean, just like her, something like that, or but maybe a lot of 90s bands. I think.
Oh, 90s would
really well with
it sucks because sometimes I want to choose a song like, oh, that's 90s, I can't do that. Also there's a lyric in the song. It says like, "Watch me now, it's crazy." And I was thinking of the subway scene.
Oh yeah.
Where she is being crazy.
She's so crazy that she's either like she's extruding like whatever out of her body.
Whatever
and, like,
that
is that
was.
from the creature she's with, or is that just like her expulsing like fucking bad juju out of her own?
Who knows?
Does she manifest like anger, whatever? Like, because the Brood. I think this and The Brood make a great double feature, maybe too much double feature, but like she literally, I don't even want to explain this, I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but she's going through this weird therapy, and the doctor somehow is getting people to manifest their feelings into real things. So what happens is she's having children of rage. And the kids are being born, and they're going out and carrying out her subconscious desires to hurt people that hurt her in her life.
Well, shit.
It's so fucked up. And like the little kids actually, one dies, the creatures, and they have fucked up faces and they have no genitals. It's so fucking crazy. It's a great movie. Well, and this, I think it'd make a good feature for this, obviously. And you see like that idea, like this movie is just fucked. And
it is. It's crazy.
I would love a long list of movies that are, the backdrop is the Berlin Wall. Because it's such a weird, gloomy time, and it just fits perfect for this movie. There's a couple out there.
Yeah. Also, something I noticed about the Berlin Wall in that film was like, I guess I always just imagine it being like in a field, but I noticed it like literally right in the middle of a street. Like this.
It's got to be everywhere. It's got to separate the whole country. Yeah. So it'd be in the field and the street.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I don't know. I guess I wasn't there for it.
I
don't know.
Did you ever hear guys stationed there? You ever talk to them and they mention like they'd see right over the Berlin Wall and just see other guys. There was a guy I used to eat lunch with. He died, but he was at my work. He was an old guy, Tony, and he would talk about just seeing the Russian soldiers just like it's very intense. Anytime just waiting to shoot at each other. Or whatever. Yeah. Because the Russians were guarding part of the country and vice versa.
Sure.
81 is a crazy year for horror movies. You have this artful masterpiece, and then you have complete and utter cheese-tastic trash like Burial Ground from Italy. But then you have heavy hitters like The Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
You have American Werewolf in London. You have The Howling. And then you have a slew of slashers like Friday 13th Part 2, The Burning, My Bloody Valentine,
Halloween
Happy
2.
Birthday to Me, Halloween 2.
Yeah.
You have such a wide variety of film. Like, I think like 70, like honestly 1970 to like 1990, I think I love all those years.
Honestly, yeah.
80 and
81
81
is a strong year.
80 and 81 are really strong fucking years.
They are.
It would be hard to make a top 25 without leaving something off.
Oh,
of those
sure.
years you like genuinely love. Like The Pit is 1981, which would be a great one for us to watch. It's complete and utter trash. It's
perfect.
Canadian exploitation film.
Perfect.
It is bizarre and weird, but I mean, there's so many heavy hitters that we could do. I think the song is a pretty good choice. I like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit the tone of the movie in terms of like the style, I would say.
Sure.
But the mental part, yes.
Yeah.
Because this movie, it's a strange one. Like
it is strange. It was kind of hard to pick one for this one because there's so many elements you could choose from.
Yeah.
But I always try to find one that kind of fits all of it.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you can't get everything in a song.
I agree. I think it fit pretty well. But like I said, like the style, the speed, I think it works well. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about Possession, what you'd like to see us do next, anything like that, questions for Brandon, questions for myself, or please make a suggestion for a song for Possession.
Oh, please. I was about to say that. I would love to hear some ideas because I'm sure there's plenty out there that fit even better.
Yeah, and I know we haven't been as good about like getting all the questions and stuff answered and stuff. So the Halloween one, that's not even out yet. I need to edit. I haven't had much time to edit. I still have a 1980 show that I got to do with Dave Z for The Shining, and then I have two more now. This one and another one of these to edit and everything like that. I'll get to them ASAP. I have a big break coming at the end of December. I know you guys need to hear my life story and my schedule because that's what the most interesting thing is. Mm-hmm. But anyways, this was a really good one to do.
Yep, this was fun.
Are you glad you watched it? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. It was funny because Thanksgiving just passed, and I was at my Thanksgiving with my family, and my dad was using an electric knife, and I immediately had a flashback. I'm like, someone's gonna put it to their neck, or they're gonna start cutting their arm.
But would you care if your parents did that?
No comment. I'll be the one doing it. It's fine.
I don't gotta worry about my parents doing that anymore. Okay. Anymore.
Oh no.
But I think this is one of the best movies we've covered. Unfortunately, we've had all bangers, really.
We really have. Every single movie we watch has been fantastic.
Except Halloween 2. I know people are gonna be mad at me. That's the least. That's least fault.
I would agree.
I mean, you got Nightmare on Elm Street, Return of the Living Dead, Halloween 3, and Possession.
Yeah. Halloween 2 isn't bad. It's just, if we had to make a list, it's at the bottom.
It's at the bottom.
It's at the bottom.
I got Return. I mean, quality-wise, it goes favorites to essentially the best. Like, I think the best is Possession. It's not my favorite.
Sure, I would honestly agree.
Best made, but also does best made automatically mean best movie? Not necessarily.
No, true.
Not necessarily.
But I think it's the most.
And it's not certainly my favorite. I put Return over it for sure.
Yeah, I think it's the most cinematic horror movie we watch.
Return's the most watchable.
Yeah.
And I'd probably put Nightmare on Elm Street up. I don't know. That's a tough call.
That's hard.
That's a tough call.
That's a tough one.
In terms of what I like. I mean, Possession I think is a better movie. Better made and everything. And I really need to watch some other Zulawski movies. I have a few of them here. I know he did a couple more horror films, and he recently died a couple years back. So I really should dive into his films. He's a Polish director. I believe this movie is like a French-German co-production.
Yeah, I was asking if
European films are very strange.
What language are they speaking in? Or
all of them.
They were all from different places. I think some were American, some were French, some were Polish, some might be German.
Johnny, I think, is French, and she's an international actress. She's in a lot of films. She might be something else. Heinrich, I believe, was German, and his performance was so bizarre. Like when he initially sees the monster, he's like, oh, he goes blind, and he's like so weird. He's like this guru, and the stuff with his mother when she goes, Sam Neill goes to cover the tracks, and she's just like, you don't have to worry about me. I was like, this is dark.
She's just dark. Like, I'm out, peace.
I'm done.
I'm taking a bunch of time off.
She's like that meme. Yeah, it's like it just disappears. Peace. Granny had to peace out. Anyways, see you next time.
See you next time.
Oh, Mark. Your wife keeps her own secrets. Make her talk to me. It'll be the way that she wants.
Tell me.
Well, I think what you want to do to Bob is just...
Inhuman. So what you're doing must be human. What's gonna happen to us?
After you!
I'll stop coming!
Why, I have to go!
I'll follow you!
You can hate me as much as you like. But it's you who wants to know things for me. So please make it possible.
Uglier. You've hardened. For the first time, you look vulgar to me.
You are not different from anyone else. We are all the same, but in different words, with different bodies, different versions. Like insects, meat.
What is it?
What the hell?